Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Degrassiism. Now, normally I do Degrassiism and I do like a poll and all that. That's kind of the recency bias and all that. But I'm doing a Degrassiism that does not involve a poll. And no, it's not an unpopular opinion, no matter what you think. So, simply put, I did a couple Reddit posts the past week. And for context, it's being taped on March 24th, 2023, about a few characters in season 4. Season 4 is basically my bread and butter with me doing unpopular opinions and theories and Degrassiisms. But the simple fact is that, the whole season 4 thing with Emma and Raditch just came full circle. As in, not Emma and Raditch's interactions in season 4, but basically them separately, all that. So, my first post I did was what I call a simple question of conscience for the Reddit community about Raditch. And I said, did anybody here have any resemblance of hate for Raditch prior to season 4? Personally, I wasn't too happy that he seemed a bad guy in season 3's Take on Me and season 2's Fight for Your Right. But I didn't anticipate his approval rating being dunked down a ton. Why I said that, I don't know. Because of the Rick Murray situation. Bear in mind, I was in college in my freshman year and I didn't pick up on Degrassi's 4th season for years. Shows you my age. So logically, what I was asking is because everyone knows about Raditch in season 4 and what he basically did/did not do in the whole Rick Murray situation. Why he's kind of a villain and all that. Why people think that Raditch is the second biggest villain in the storyline. Well, actually, the second biggest living villain, because Rick was a giant villain, and then you had Jay, then Raditch. Now, of course, villainy can be taken so much by other people. Like villainy is not a kind word, but it could be used in two situations, like people who did something bad to someone or just basically didn't do enough. And of course, that was the latter for Raj. He didn't bully Rick. He didn't do this pain and feathers. He didn't do anything stupid. He just basically ignored the problem and ignored Rick. Now I know what you're saying is that, Rick came to Raj for help and Raj blew him off. Well, the simple fact is, Raditch, with the way he learns things, and what Rick said was that Rick said that Jimmy doesn't want to be my friend and it's bothering me and I don't want him on the Wacky Brain team. And he makes no qualms about it. And Raditch is like, what? And what do you want me to do? Force Jimmy to be your friend? It takes two to tango, Richard. I mean, understandably, why Raditch is so peeved at Rick. And I would get it too. I mean, why Rick did that? And people interpret that saying that Raditch actually shooed Rick away. But, Raditch was wrong. The problem with Raditch in that situation where he was wrong was, I think that if he just basically said, if this happens again, tell me about it. And, I need more concrete evidence. I need more evidence. He should have said that. Then probably Rick would have gotten the evidence. And Raditch would have had to help him out. Raditch was trying to help Rick out after the Pain and Feathers, doing a 180. Snake called him out on it a couple of times. Raditch wasn't too pleased with everything. So, when you look at Raditch's trajectory in the Degrassi universe, he was the junior high English teacher that always took Joey's fedora off and all that. He called them aspiring scholars. He basically was willing to help people out. He was willing to help Joey out with his schooling and all that. And then, he became the vice principal in Degrassi High. Despite what people think, he was the vice principal, not the main principal. The principal was unseen, just like the principal in Degrassi Junior High was. And then basically, Simpson aside, Raditch was just there. He was a VP. He and Joey made a peace bond. He had the difficulty of finding Claude's dead body after Snake went to the bathroom and then saw Claude's body the first time and then alerted Raditch and all that. Raditch had to basically give a speech to a class saying that everyone's lives are bad, but you shouldn't consider suicide because once you do, you can't go back on it. Everything is over. He did a good job calming the students down. And he told Lucy in the finale, Degrassi High finale, not the Schools Out movie. That is not part of the Degrassi. Well, it is part of Degrassi High, but it's not part of the TV series. He said that basically it's an oven in the summer and a ice box in the winter, or freezer in the winter. And I can't help you guys out. But the simple fact is that Raj became principal in Degrassi Next Gen. It was like, cool. What type of principal would Raditch be? And, Raj wasn't that big in season 1. I mean, he did a Monge Spinner for mooning the school. I mean, what principal wouldn't? Season 2, he got involved with Emma because of the GMO foods debate. And, he was upset about Emma undermining him and all that. Raj pinned the food fight on Emma, which was unfair because Emma accidentally slapped Toby's tray away, and then it started a crime of opportunity, if you will, with the food fight. Emma did apologize for the food fight, but then she refuses to apologize for speaking her mind and decides to take her problems from GMO foods to free speech and gets a lengthy suspension for Raj because she wouldn't buckle to him. And then season 3, they'll Take on Me, the episode that THT guy said was the best Degrassi episode of all time. It's close for me. But anyway, yeah. He seems to punish people for stupid mistakes. But he had a reason to. He punished Sean because he knew Sean stole the stuff, but without evidence, so he gave him massive detentions. Kind of worse. Toby and Jimmy were trying to change grades on the school computer, like change grades and all that. That's a felony. That's an offense. Hazel was looking at some inappropriate sites. Fair enough. And Ellie was in trouble for skipping too many classes because of her mental problems. With her mother being alcoholic once her dad, a corporal, left for Afghanistan. But it was actually revealed that Ellie purposely did that to do a newspaper article. And people probably figured that Ellie was there to help Raditch out. But fortunately for Ellie, the evidence pointed, fortunately for Raj, he couldn't be charged. So basically Raj stayed the course and, he didn't lose his job. So he was okay for the first 3 seasons. And then season 4, he does the stupid thing. With the Rick Murray situation, he tells Marco and Alex, who are student council president and vice president, respectively. He basically said that, Terry's at private school, can't talk about her affairs. And to the best of my knowledge, Rick doesn't have a criminal charge. So without a criminal charge, the person, he or she, can stay at my schools, like it or not. Like, he knows about the Terry situation. He knows about the thing with Rick because, the gossip around the school. But he couldn't do a thing about it. The stupid thing is they put it in a deleted scene, which would have been more credence if it was in the finished product. Come on, CTV. Come on, Nickelodeon. But anyway. So he does that, and then he gets mad at Emma for trying to go away from Rick, saying that, that's not one of your silly crusades. I warn you, stay out of this. This doesn't concern you. In a sense, he's right. But Emma says, this is domestic violence and all of that. And, Emma's trying to get good with Paige's clique after being booted by Manny and Liberty. I mean, it was Emma's fault. So she does the Orange Ribbon campaign, trying not to break school rules. Raj looks at it and seemed perturbed, but he couldn't really do anything about it. If he did something about it, then he probably would have lost his job. So, yeah, so Raj wasn't featured there. But the problem with Raditch is that, in season 4 was the simple fact that he didn't calm the students down. I did a Degrassiism. I did an unpopular opinion based on the fact that, Raditch's biggest mistake, his biggest mistake was letting Rick back in because it was going to he was waving a red cape in front of the charging bulls, aka the Degrassi students. But the simple fact is he also screwed up the fact he didn't calm the students down. I mean, a simple assembly or PA announcement would have worked out. And some people say, oh, well, it probably would have made them more likely to press charges on Rick and all that. And maybe Ratchet didn't want that. That's kind of how I felt a couple of years ago. But the simple fact is, then maybe there's a little bit of calm down. I know that it wasn't going to diffuse the situation 100%. There's no doubt about it. But the simple fact is that, Raj could have been much better. So anyway, Raditch is doing his job and all that. And of course, um, not Mercy Street. Time stands still. Why I babbled like I couldn't get the episode out of my mouth. It doesn't make sense. Time stands still. Then he basically gets talked to by Rick and tells Rick to do better making friends. Come back to me. Something serious is happening. I mean, I get it because he wants more evidence. He should have just said, I just need more evidence. Maybe then Rick would have helped him. And then, of course, he saw the whole quiz competition via his computer, the video on his computer, which was nice and all that. Who says 2004 technology wasn't that great? But anyway, Raditch did all that, and he saw the paint and feathers. And he was like, oh my God, what's happening? And then he goes on the video system saying, 25 years as an educator. This is the lowest point in my career. All that. I have never been ashamed to be associated with Degrassi. I will find the perpetrators. And if you have any information, come to me. I give you full confidentiality. So anyway, yeah, Raj is looking for answers and all that. And then, in that other deleted scene, he blasts Spinner for making chicken noises at Rick, who comes for the paint and feathers. Raj tells Rick he's sorry for everything that has happened. You can go home. And Rick says, I got to go to my locker. Unbeknownst to Raj, Rick had the gun in his locker. But I think that was in his bag, excuse me. I think that was after Paige calmed him down, and then he was going to put the gun in his locker before Spinner and Jay poked the bear, so to speak. And then Simpson tells him, what's your plan for dealing with Rick? He can't do any more harm if he's not here. Wake mistake. And then Raj tells Snake that making friends is not part of the curriculum. It's not preschool. Well, daycare, but I call it preschool because it makes more sense. And then, Raj gets blasted by Snake in the media room after the shooting thing. And then Emma is being calmed down by Spike and Snake. Snake says, where's your hindsight now? I have 700 students. How was I supposed to know one was going to react to some spilled paint? You could have helped them. In a sense, he was right. And then Raditch, did the musical, canceled Dracula, I guess trying it as a PR move. I think it was a giant PR move because, Degrassi was on the 6 o'clock news for all the wrong reasons. He might have wanted to fix the situation, but a musical wasn't going to solve it. The students took him to task, and then soon he was out the door. A combination of things led to his exit. Probably students would have talked to their parents or would have talked to the school board. The school board kind of knew that Raditch was not calming the students down, and, pressure. I mean, after all, Raditch let Rick back in the school. Although Raditch basically had the chance. Well, he was reassigned, but the school board reassigned him, I guess, based on the principle that if they had fired Raditch, he would have snapped back at them and got them in trouble for their policies and all that. It's possible. But anyway, yeah, it was just about the conscience and all that. And again, I don't say Raditch gets more hate than he should. I mean, his actions didn't make Rick take a gun to the school and try to shoot somebody. His actions led to inattentiveness and the teachers. Like, I'm pissed off that the teachers didn't even do anything about it. It seemed that Quan was the only one to punish someone for hurting Rick. But the simple fact is they were standing idly by and all that. That's kind of stupid. I know we are quick to judge about this 19 years after the fact, after the episode was shown, but still. So anyway, another question of conscience was about Emma. And I said, did Emma have a positive crusade that made her likable? That's what I said. Oh, shoot. My apologies. I was supposed to go to the comments for the whole Raditch thing. Hang on here. My apologies. Because people did comment on the Raditch post. 3 people said stuff. All right, so M. Milhouse said, I liked him always being around as a figure of authority at Degrassi from junior high onwards. I wouldn't pick him as a favorite character, but one I respect in a way, I guess. I never disliked him, but I don't love where the writing took his character in the end. And Canadian True Crime, weird name, said, I agree, I have a soft spot for Raditch, and I think it's due to him being on Degrassi junior high/high. And Tom Mills said, he was kind of a douche to Yick in junior high, but learned from it. I was bummed to see him leave because it was nice to have him as a constant presence as principal after he left. there was a revolving door of Hassel, Snake, Shep, and back to Snake. Unfortunately, he forgot that pill. Well, back to Snake, then Shep. Well, Snake was just temporary. So it was Hatsune then Shep. Technically, Snake took over for a few weeks while Shep went to sensitive training, and then it was back to Snake, back to Hatsune in season 9, then back to Snake. He kind of got everything mixed up, but that's okay. It happens. But anyway, yeah. So did Emma have a positive crusade that made her likable? I said, I argue all but one of her crusades were negative. The one I think made her positive was Purple Dragon. Yeah, she got into the Purple Dragon thing to try to fit in with her peers after they called her bland and boring. Not the last time. But then learned about the seedy underbelly of corporate sponsorship trying to fit in with Degrassi. Money issues much? And decided to speak out against it despite some disagreements from people like Armstrong. And managed to get Purple Dragon to change their tone despite being able to sponsor stuff at Degrassi. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But that's where the Reddit commenters and fretters can help me with understand the situation. So we know a lot of Emma's crusades and all that. I was going to do a poll about the top crusades Emma did, the top crusades. But the problem was that all but one in my mind just were negative, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a good topic. So anyhow, so let me list off Emma's crusades and all that. Okay, so crusade number 1, a partial crusade is trying to get the whole thing with Liberty and Armstrong. I mean, she was just concerned about Armstrong touching Liberty inappropriately. After all, Emma got bit by that catfisher in the first ever episode of Next Gen. So she kind of did it. But she was just talking to Manny, and then all of a sudden people overhear her, which is weird because, Emma always had the ability to overhear people and get involved in their situations. But Emma got bit this time and spread the rumor. Thankfully, though, Emma decides to go to Principal Branch and said that, it was just an honest mistake. Armstrong gets cleared of everything, and Liberty just basically blasts Emma high and dry. Cause number 2. And I think this was number 2. I'm trying to go chronologically. Cause number 2 is the cheerleading thing. Paige says we're going to set up Spirit Squad and all that. And to counter those people that think cheerleading is sexist, we're going to hire boys. Emma doesn't buy it. Emma says basically that, cheerleaders are bimbos and people view them and, we'll treat them like garbage and all that. Like dirt and all that. And the whole sexist thing, it doesn't mean gender. Emma doesn't think it means gender. It just means the whole personality. Manny gets on the Spirit Squad. Emma writes a scathing article about cheerleading. And Paige wants Manny to rip up this because it would ruin the Spirit Squad and all that. Fortunately, though, Spirit Squad stays on and all that. I think that Raditchs probably just put it there to shut Emma up. And then, Manny gets mad at Emma and all that. Emma does apologize for her mistakes. And then cause number 3 was the news reporting thing. And I believe someone commented on this. Well, I got 7 comments about it. And one person said, well, Acrobatic Manor said, she was right about schools shouldn't have sponsorships to promote the propaganda onto kids. Yes, exactly. She was right about schools not having sponsorships to promote the propaganda. But she was tone deaf because she missed how schools need that funding to purchase necessary resources such as computers for kids like Sean who didn't have one at home. She couldn't get past the first problem to perhaps get to the root of the problem, which is funding for schools, which is true. Emma always had the problem that she only saw her side of the debate and not the other side. Like Tracker, aka Sean's brother, said this stuff to Emma, saying that, this is helping, this is funding for a computer so that Sean can actually do his homework and all that. Like Emma says, it's just wrong and all that. Sean does agree with Emma in a sense, but he also agrees with his brother. Because, yeah, it's the whole funding issue. And that's what I led to in a recent Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. I think number 189, the one I just did, before the next one I'm planning to do. So, anyway, the funding issues, because, I was talking about how Purple Dragon, ironically, led me to go back in time and think, did I do a Degrassi Unpopular Opinion about school Degrassi with money issues? I did. a long time ago. But the simple fact was that, I updated myself. So anyway, Emma did that crusade and all that. It was kind of hit or miss. In a sense, her next crusade was about, trying not to have Spike and Snake marry and all that. Because, Emma was not really happy with her teacher dating her mom. I mean, what student wouldn't want that? A teacher parent relationship like that. But in the end, Emma caved and accepted Snake. And then, of course, that leads to the whole abortion thing. The first abortion thing was when Spike ends up being pregnant and Emma's happy about it. And Spike says, I don't want a second mistake. Emma takes it personally. Emma can't sleep. She goes over to Snake's bachelor party to tell Snake about this whole kerfuffle and actually gets Toby and JT in trouble, inadvertently, of course. But the simple fact is that, she talks to Snake about Spike being pregnant and wanting to cancel the kid. Spike's not too happy with Emma going over her head towards Snake. I mean, that's understandable. And Snake says, well, somebody had to speak up in the situation. So they decided to keep the kid, get married, and all that. Emma fears she ruined the wedding and all that, but she had to do it. She told Manny, I have to make things right and all that. Despite, stuff. And then I agree that, Emma probably has a tick in her brain, which she can't get rid of unless she does something about it. And then, you have to fight for your right with Raditch and all that, which I briefly mentioned in the first part of my this Degrassiism about GMO foods. Yeah, she knew that GMO foods was a touchy subject. I don't care about your opinion, but now I'm going to be free speech and all that. She changes things on the fly. She does an environmental club and all that, and was not happy that Manny was being sexually provocative and all that. It got people to Emma's environmental club, but Emma basically was not happy that is for all the wrong reasons, and Manny chews her up for it. So then, she has the crusade about abortion about Manny. She was not happy that Manny wanted to get an abortion, saying that, you can carry a full term and make it adoption. It's no big deal and all that. And then Emma, for some reason, stands up to Manny after Craig is upset. He wants this baby. Well, Craig doesn't tip his hand and say that he needs this baby because he wants a family. Like, he has a half sister. He has a stepfather, as being Angie and Joey, respectively. But he doesn't have a parent. His mom died of some kind of illness, and his dad died after probably crashing his car after road in rage and all that. But, Emma says that, I agree with Manny. She shouldn't get the abortion. But this is Manny's body and her choice. And she wasn't my best friend. I'd be miffed. And then, of course, I went off on a tangent saying, hang on a sec. Manny and Emma broke off being friends in season 3. But someone said that, they were talking more close to that episode. Accidents will happen. So I guess in a sense. But, I guess Emma really wanted the power of friendship with Manny. So that was a crusade. And then let's not forget the crusade about Rick and the domestic violence situation. But, it wasn't really Emma's ideology. Like, Emma was domestic violence. She was there for the ride, and she was there to stick it to Manny and Liberty by saying, I can be Paige's clique. I don't need you guys. And then sticking it to Raditch because Raditch did tell her, stay out of this. It's not one of your stupid crusades. Are you nuts, Raditch? You're just poking the bear. Fuck. I feel Emma's the most triggered character in Degrassi history, close to Claire, but yeah. That's just me. So anyway, Emma is not too pleased with a lot of things. So Emma, does this crusade and orange ribbons with Paige to try to talk to people about domestic violence. They donate towards it. They get orange ribbon. Of course, a lot of people at the student school just pick on Rick for all the wrong reasons. Emma does change her tone a little bit, realizing that they weren't taking the domestic violence crusade personally. Like, they basically wanted to beat up on Rick. And, Money's talks, and Rick tried to pay Emma off. I guess as a way to basically try to end this whole bullying thing. Alex rips up the check and rips Emma a new one. But Emma then realizes that they're not taking the cause seriously. I want to do domestic violence. I don't want Rick to be beaten up. I just want him out of the school. So basically, after the bullies hurt Rick, Emma steps in front of Rick, saves him in a sense, and basically gets shunned by the school, except for Toby, Jimmy, Heather Sinclair, and Rick, of course. And, that was the crusade that basically broke the back because, it somehow led to Rick having a gun pointed at Emma. Thankfully, it didn't go off. Well, it went off, but not at Emma. It went off at Rick after shot him in the stomach. Rick was not too pleased, I guess. But anyway, yeah. And then Emma, for a while, didn't really have a crusade. I don't think her eating disorder and trying to gain control back in her life is a crusade. I think it's more of a personal problem in a sense. But she did crusade to get Lakehurst to pay for what they did to JT with two students like involved in the stabbing of JT and all that. Like Emma had a point. Like Emma was right to get angry. I mean, it was at a party that she should not have thrown in the first place with Spike and Snake out of town. Someone died steps from her house, and it should not have happened. Who wouldn't be freaked out by that? And with Manny gone, Emma felt she didn't have an ally. And it didn't help matters that Manny didn't want to talk to Emma about this whole JT situation. I think if Manny talked to Emma about it, no matter what, Emma might have cooled off because Manny was the voice of reason. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, it kind of worked. Degrassi did win the cheerleading competition, but then Degrassi and Lakers have a brawl. I think Degrassi lost the competition because of the brawl. Emma gets the tensions of the yin yang. She yells at Snake saying that they want to move on from JT, and I'm just pissed. And then Snake says, I don't think this is about JT. This is about Manny because, Manny's moving out of the house. And Emma feels lost without Manny. In a way, he's right. And in a way, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, this wasn't all about JT. I mean, yeah, JT died and all that, but what interactions did she have with JT? Did she even like him? Not so much. But yeah, Manny and Emma make up and all that. And I guess you can kind of say that season 8, when she gets Manny and Liberty to be in the same dorm as her, is a crusade. She's just crusading to be friends and try to be normal. And unfortunately, the Rick situation just blew her minds off of it. She basically said the cause girl was gone and all that after Rick's situation. And she lost her drive. And the Rick situation did cause it. She did have I wouldn't say the Redash Cycle project was a crusade. I think it was just a cause. Yeah, but, she was crusading for things. And then all of a sudden, Kelly left her high and dry. And then, the Purple Dragon thing. Like, she got the Purple Dragon Girl thing, but then she learned the seedy underbelly and then she was forced to lose weight in a sense. But she said, no, I am a recovering anorexic. I can't do it. So she basically says no to Purple Dragon. So anyway, Turquoise Falls said that she does pick up trash in the ravine. That's all I got. Well, I don't know if it's a crusade. I think it was just her just being her. And someone said she was very kind to Spinner during Degrassi Takes Manhattan. I don't think that's a crusade. And then Lady Stag said she was wrong about GMOs. Ellie was right, but right about freedom of speech and refusing a compelled apology. Sometimes I enjoy early dolphin pants wearing self-righteous Emma. And then Tom Noons, again said, hey, Emma is the queen of having good intentions but going about things completely the wrong way. 95% of the time she means well, but out of every available option or plan, she chooses the worst one. Fucking right. That is just fantastic. That's the topic sentence I always wanted to be. Emma had good intentions, but she goes about things the wrong way. She has good plans, but bad execution. So that's basically what it means. So yeah, I got to clear my conscience and all that. And I look at the clock and I'm like, wow, I talked for half an hour on this topic. But yeah, I got to clear my conscience on a few things, about Raditchs and Emma and all that. Say what you want about those two, but, they're just a piece of me that, keeps me going, doing these Degrassi videos for years and years and years. Well, 3.5, going on 4 years. But anyway, that's the way I go. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.